Here is a very powerful technique, and yet also very simple to do, to take an image you have and give it a nice dreamlike quality, beautiful soft focus quality to it. And it's very simple to do. I'm in Photoshop right now. This can also be done in Photoshop Elements. It'll work in both cases. First thing we do as usual, of course, is we take our image and we make a copy of it. And now we're going to work from our copy image. We're in the top layer and we're going to go into Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and you want to blur your image quite severely. You want to have it where you can see shapes, you can see basic shapes, but you can't really tell what the image is. And this is going to bring in the effect that we really want. So I'm at about 30 pixels here, which is quite good, and I'm going to leave it this way. Again, you can sort of make out what the image is, but really not. And this is what we want for the first part of the effect. So we hit OK on that. Now here's this very simple technique and how easy it is to do. We're still in our top layer. All you do now is go into opacity and start dialing back the opacity just a little bit at a time. And as you can see, what happens, it's leaving this almost halo blur effect to it. And you can play with, obviously we go to 0, we're back to our original image, and then we just keep dialing up the opacity till we get to a level we like. Again, it's going to vary image to image and how much detail is in the image, but you're going to get to a point where it gives it this beautiful soft halo look to it, as if you shot it through a real haze filter or a fog filter of some sort. Just gives it a really nice effect. And it can be done with different images. I've loaded up a couple of others here. I'll show you one where it works really well, is where you have a close-up of some plants, some flora or some fauna. It works very well in this case, and I've already gone ahead and prepared it a little bit. So we have our basic image right now. I've added a layer and I've put in the full blur, the Gaussian blur to it. So again, as you can see some basic shapes, but you're not really quite sure what it is. And here again, the trick, we simply go in to our opacity and start dialing back a little bit our opacity until we get that beautiful blurred, as if there was Vaseline on the lens type image. And it just gives it a really beautiful effect. And again, you can play with it to whatever levels you want, but I like taking it up where it's fairly blurred like that. And that's quite interesting as well. One other quick thing you do if you want to make it even more of a special effect is in your blurred layer, keep it on, and we're going to go in and we are going to create a layer mask. And now we're going to go to our brush, and we're going to take a fairly large size brush, and I'm going to go up here to the opacity of the brush and drop it back, because we want to do this in stages. Because what we can do now, if you want to add a special effect, say right to the center of this image, we can now start painting with our brush, and we're going to start painting away very slowly some of that blur, just selectively here in the middle of the photograph. So now, as you can see, what we've done is we've added a real point of interest, a real center of interest in this image, and everything else is blurring off with that beautiful effect on the outside. So that's one extra you can add to it if you want. If you don't like it, you can either get rid of that mask, or if you just change your colors from black back to white, when we paint again now with white, it's going back to that beautiful blurred image.